All right, everyone, welcome to the 4 secrets to buying a profitable franchise. I'm excited to dive into this. If you want to make the right decision of buying franchise, protect yourself, reduce risk, avoid buying the wrong one, this formula is how you do it. This will be a snippet out of what we provide to our clients. We lead with education. The more you know the details, how to do due diligence, etc., then the more you're equipped to make the right decision. Spoken to someone on our team, and someone on our team just got an email recently from them saying they wind up going on their own, buying a franchise. It's not going well, and they need to try to offload it, and they're going to lose money, and it's just a bad situation overall. So this stuff's super important. We actually slow people down in the buying process just to be like, hey, you got to make sure you do these things first and validate it, and then you can buy. And some of you may or may not be familiar, but it's called my profitable franchise formula. But the way that I learned this was from going through our process, buying our franchise, realizing, oh man, we bought a franchise that has like a lower profit margin than many other businesses. How would I have avoided that? That's included in here on how to do that. Then it turns out, bought another location in a completely different market, in a completely different state. Oh crap, this does not perform as well or have the same response in this market than it does in this other one. So how can you find those things out before you buy? You get to learn from my mistakes here, so let's dive in. So the number one thing that you need first is belief. You got to choose a business that you 100% believe in. That may sound really simple, but what happens is that people wind up looking for franchises on their own, talking to some franchise brokers and consultants, and sometimes just looking at random franchises, and that you may really have no sort of interest at all in, but for whatever reason, you're looking at this franchise. Maybe you think you can just make a lot of money from it. Maybe you think it's going to be easy, etc. You have to choose a business that you have a belief in and not necessarily a passion. So you want to choose a brand that you believe in, the product or service, even if you choose the business because that's where your skill set is from your professional background. As an example, I just had lunch today with a guy who's an entrepreneur, runs a successful brokerage business, helping people buy apartment buildings. He's talking about, man, I was looking at an Orange Theory. And I'm like, what is your network? He said, I know a bunch of different apartment building owners, very high net worth people, etc. What do they need? What are the services they need? What is recurring revenue? So we talked through that. So one of the easiest places to start is in an area that you have some knowledge already. You don't have to do it that way, but as long as you feel good about the product or service, that's all that matters. Just remember that owning a franchise could just be your start into your entrepreneurial world. Like, it doesn't have to be some glamorous thing that you're super passionate about and you really love. You want to open a health business because you love going to the gym and working out. I know. Trust me, I know the mindset. Would you rather do a business that you really love it and you're so passionate about, or one that just makes as much money as possible and contributes to the quality of your life? Sometimes the most profitable opportunities are the ones that you may feel the least passion about. Passion projects don't always pay the bills. So focus less on passion and more on belief. Belief leads to passion, but passion doesn't lead to beliefs in the long term. As an example, I love going to the gym, I love running Spartan races, etc. But like, that can change. There was a point where I was playing golf a lot. I was super passionate about that. If I would have went out and bought a golf franchise, well, I don't really play golf anymore. We have kids, I'm busy, we have a business. Like, as an example, if we were to open up a daycare, because I believe that kids need proper care, education, and it's lacking in our community, like whether I have young kids or not, like that's that need that needs to be filled that I believe in overall. Warning, do not choose a business only because you can think you can make a lot of money. So that's a recipe for disaster. Choose a business that you feel proud to own because you're solving a problem or providing a really great product or service. Owning a business is just all about solving a problem. So if you just identify, hey, where's the opportunity to solve a problem in my market, in my geographic area, or what's a problem that I'd be excited to start? That was the approach that we took starting a juice bar business. There wasn't one nearby. We had to go to multiple exits. So it was like, oh, that's a problem. The profitable franchise formula is the key. No matter how great a franchise sounds, bring it back to the profitable franchise formula. We're going to go into the next 3 ones right now. So if you want to know exactly how to own a money-making franchise, narrow down your search and process, and just everything you need to know about owning a franchise, go check it out. franchiseempire.com/FBA. It's epic. The second thing you need in the profitable franchise formula is number 2, you need to ensure that the business aligns with your skill set. So does the primary role of the owner match your skill sets? There are some franchise businesses where like the primary role of the owner is you need to be great at sales, connecting with people, and networking. So if you're an engineer or if you're someone who's much more analytical and introverted, the business could be great. It could be really proven and everything checks out, but it just may not be the best fit for you based on the skill set gap. You know that phrase, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree? So we want to make sure, hey, if you're a fish, what business is your water? And let's stay away from the trees. That was like, sounded like a really goofy analogy, but hopefully you get it. The other way you can solve this problem is you hire your opposite as your manager and as your first person in your business, or you have that as a business partner. So if you're super analytical, do not partner with someone who's also super analytical. You want the opposite, right? So if you're really great at sales, your main hire to be someone who's really good at operations, but it's got to match your skill set. So you got to ask yourself these questions. Hey, what does a day in life of the owner look like? Can you see yourself owning this business? And you're going to get answers to this with the calls from franchisor, but the real answers are going to come from franchisee validation. The third thing you need in the profitable franchise formula, we already covered belief. You have to have a strong belief in the business. Number 2, skill sets. Number 3 is demand. We opened up a brand new location in California. The business took off right away. We were profitable in less than 2 months. It was so exciting, amazing. There was a ton of demand because the nearest competitor was 5 miles away, and then the other one a little bit less than 5 miles away, but you had to go on the highway and go 2 exits down. That meant there was demand for a juice and smoothie place, right? When we moved to Florida and bought our second location as a resale, we bought a location that had 4 other competitors within a 1-mile radius. Made a huge difference. That location was much harder to open and operate. So you've got to validate the local demand. That had a significant impact. So competition does matter, ladies and gentlemen. Only to a degree though, right? Like assuming if you have something innovative and the other competitors suck and like people complain and don't like going there, that's an opportunity to come in and crush your competition. So with that said, what you want to do is you want to, when you're looking at a brand, you want to make a list of all the competitors within a 5 to 10 mile radius and check into it. Hey, how far are they serving specific neighborhoods? Go buy the products, mystery shop them, go ask questions in the business. What's your slowest time of the day? Note their prices, etc. Call them to see how you can get an appointment to gauge how busy they are. These are just some little tidbits. Like when we work with our clients, we provide much more detail and kind of handholding on exactly what to do to get through validation. But you've got to make sure that the demand is there in your area. Profit potential. So you'll want to get an idea of how much money you may be able to make with the business. When we bought our franchise and signed our agreement back in 2015, I had no idea how to assess the profit potential of a franchise. I was stumbling through franchisee validation, scared to ask people how much money they were making. It's like a recipe for disaster. I also had no idea how to read an item 19, the part in the franchise disclosure document where they can the franchisor can list how much money is being made. Guys, it was a mess. So you get to learn from my mistakes. You'll never have certainty or guarantee around how much money you'll make. You just simply won't know until you start. But you can have a strong idea through 3 key things, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1 is the item 19 in the FDD. And you got to understand the nuances. There's going to be asterisks in there. There's going to be things telling you, okay, hey, these are for franchisees open 12 months, between 12 to 24 months, or it's going to say this is the top quartile, this is the bottom quartile. They all list it in a different way, which makes it really confusing for you as the individual buying the franchise, but they're, essentially presenting the information as in an attractive way as they can. So, which is great if you're trying to sell franchises, but for you as the franchise buyer to protect yourself and reduce your risk, you've got to be able to interpret what's in the FDD. So like one of the things we do is we go through the FDD with clients. Like we walk through like the item 19 and like making sure that they understand it. Basically, you have to put together financial projections for the business. Some franchisors will provide you a blank pro forma or a pre-filled pro forma based on what's in the item 19. Some don't. This is another mistake I made. I had no idea what a pro forma was when we signed our franchise agreement. I didn't complete a pro forma. We signed our franchise agreement. We got our onboarding email. welcome, you're now a franchisee, money's been paid. And then it's like, hey, here's an email, fill these things out. Like, I immediately called the person I was working with the franchisor, freaking out. I'm like, what is this thing? It was this crazy spreadsheet, super detailed. I had no idea how to complete it. So it doesn't need to be that complicated. That's one of the things we walk our clients through, how to create a pro forma at a high level. But this is how this is how you take emotions out of it when you're buying a franchise. Like, this is a key thing. This is how you take emotions out of it and you're able to just see the numbers. It's super key. You cannot buy a franchise without running estimated financial projections. And the way that you'll get some of the intel you need is through franchisee validation calls. That's number 3. You have to talk to at least 5 to 10 franchisees. It is required. You must. If you do not talk to 5 to 10 franchisees, you can make a huge mistake that you might regret. Talking to 5 to 10 franchisees will give you the confidence you need. And if after talking to 5 to 10, you still feel wishy-washy, then you need to talk to more. We've had clients who have talked to 25, 30 people in a franchise brand because they were buying 3-4 territories at a time. They were going all in from the beginning. They were pumped, but they were like, I'm doing my homework. You don't necessarily need to do that. But again, if you want to understand kind of the high level overall of just franchising and the key things that you need to know, those are some of the things we put in our Franchise Buyers Academy. So we hit them all. We talked about belief, skill sets, demand, and profit potential. Those are the 4 secrets to buying a profitable franchise. And if you really do your homework, really do your due diligence, then you can make that happen. For those of you who are like, okay, this is great, but like, how do I do it? How do I implement it? And you want more specifics, you can go to franchiseempire.com and then there's just a basic blue button there. Schedule a free 15-minute call. Just point you in the right direction, see how we can help with either if you need help finding a franchise or vetting a franchise. Or turns out we have a lot of franchisees that follow us and want help. So, or if you want help growing your franchise. Thank you for joining us. Hit the like button before you leave on social media. It'll help a ton. And let me know that you got value and drop any comments on other videos that you want to see or other topics. I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.